Food Scientist Podcast. I'm your host, Amy Zajac, and I'm here with Brian Pierce.
Well, hello, everyone.
And Danny Sussman.
Vegas!
Woo! At the time you're listening to this, we have returned from Vegas, but at the time of recording, we have not. Vegas. Or we're still in Vegas.
The magic of podcasting. We're actually in Minneapolis. Actually, I'm leaving right now. Sad. Yeah. Vegas is over, and I haven't even left.
So you're not going to hear us talk about our Vegas experience. Instead, we're going to talk about torturing Brian with special flavors of Pringles.
And we will talk about our Vegas experience, just not today.
Exactly.
Because we were not psychic.
So we tortured Brian with some special flavors of Pringles.
And did we?
We had some other types of flavored potato chips we'll talk about. We're going to have a little bit of trivia. And then we end on a sweet note with some European candy bars.
They were so good.
There was redemption after the terribleness that happened.
This kind of started with Danny initially looking for the Nashville Hot Chicken Pringles, but then I found extra hot chili and lime Pringles, and I'm just going to say they're not just hot. They're normal. They're actually hot. They're not Minnesota hot, so that means they're really hot.
I did. My frequent trips to Dollar General paid off.
And then
I found the exclusive Dollar General, limited time only, Nashville Hot Chicken. And while I was there, as a gift to Amy, because I'm a giver, I bought some dill pickle Pringles.
And they say extraordinary flavor on the dill pickle.
They're actually technically Screamin Dill Pickle.
And you'll see pictures on social media, but again, I love the little art with the Pringle chip in a scuba gear in a jar of pickles.
But now, when I brought them, I said, Amy, these are a gift. These are not for the podcast. These are for you.
Right.
And somehow I ended up eating them.
Well, because we're talking about Pringles, we have to experience all of them.
Well, and I had initially bought the extra hot chili and lime just for myself. And I had said, well, I'm not going to torture you guys with how hot these are. But then
when you say that? That's not something you would say.
And then Daddy walked in with the hot chicken ones. I'm like, well, if we're going to have those, you're going to have these other ones. And I'm going to film Brian.
And she did.
And just for the sake of complete listen, so we have one thing that's sheer torture, but still on brand with the podcast. We did also have the loaded baked potato, which they do have some bacon in them.
Yeah, so as you noted, or you probably heard, I said I filmed Brian. So keep your eyes out for that on social media. For 3 of these, not for the baked potato. Because
that would be no fun.
That would have been redemption. And who needs that?
So, nope. Brian, since you were probably tortured the most with these, you want to go first on talking about them?
Yeah, you know what? With the pickle ones, I only had one actual complaint, if I'm going to be honest. My only complaint was that they tasted like pickle.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My goodness, that flavor was strong.
I will say this.
Tastes like pickle juice.
I don't love pickles. I love a good New York sour pickle. Ooh. These were terrible.
No, this was vinegar.
I can tolerate a pickle. This thing was gross.
I don't know that it was gross.
It was gross.
Yeah, it was gross.
It's very pickle juicy. Yeah, I mean, not that it's wet. It's a crisp potato chip.
I mean, it's like your pickles are gone, and you have that jar there, and you're just taking a swig from it.
You know, some people make martinis out of that, the pickle juice and the vodka.
Did you like the Screamin Dill Pickle Pringle?
More than I thought I would, yeah.
That's not more than you thought you would.
But I like dill pickles.
So you liked that chip?
Yeah, I can't eat a lot at once because it's a strong flavor.
I think if you like pickles, this would be a good one to make your own little recipe if you're doing some of the other
Put it in a sandwich. People put potato chips in sandwiches now.
Sure.
You know what, though? If this is a Pringle you can only eat in combination with other Pringles, no.
Yeah.
I will say, I liked it, I liked it well enough. But you know what surprised me? The Nashville Hot Chicken tastes a lot like pickle.
Well, yeah, because there are pickles in it.
A Nashville Hot Chicken sandwich is fried chicken that has been coated in cayenne pepper on a bun with dill pickle slices.
I understand that, but I didn't get
But maybe
any...
our listeners don't know what a Nashville
I didn't get any chicken or cayenne flavor out of it. It mostly tasted like pickle chips.
Yeah, that's what stood out to me the most. I just couldn't get past that. There are pickles in it. Oh, no.
To me, it was... I don't want to say it tasted like a hot pickle, because it didn't. It tasted hot, like spicy, and then I got the pickle afterwards.
I didn't get any heat.
I didn't really get much heat either.
See, this is, okay, and this is probably in the extra hot chip, which did you want to talk about that one first, Brian?
Yeah, the extra hot chili and lime. That one was terrible. That one just wrecked my mouth. My lips hurt afterwards. They felt like they were super chapped because of whatever is on it. The chips are red. That should be like a warning sign. Don't.
Well, they're half red.
Yeah, they are. So it's like red.
Actually, technically, I believe they're
Quarter
only
red.
they're 1/4 red because it's one half of one side.
Sure.
I enjoy them, but I like hot. I can feel the heat in these, but I wouldn't call them extra hot for my taste buds. For Minnesota,
Yes,
for Minnesota, they are
would call them
extra hot. And I gave you plenty of warning.
Oh, you did. You still made me eat them while you filmed it and laughed.
And I can pick up the chili flavor and the lime flavor.
I mean, you'll see this in the video.
He threw it at me.
I threw them at you. Yeah,
threw it at
I was
me.
like, I'm done.
Yeah, and he's not usually violent. Like if I
No.
threw it at Amy, that would be like, well, that's just Danny being Danny.
Saturday afternoon.
Right.
How hot did you find them, Danny?
I ate it fast and swallowed it. But
Smart.
I will say this. Well, one, I think I'm on the record of I don't even think these things are chips. I don't like Pringles. I don't
But
like
you
the
keep
whole...
eating them.
Well, we keep they give me
Buying
flavors.
them.
I don't like them. I don't like the consistency. I don't like their preformed nature, like their manufacturedness, whatever. Like
You can make duck lips with them.
I learned that.
Yes.
Which I don't judge people who do like them. They're not my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like regular Pringles a lot.
The extra hot ones illustrated like my new beef. Like I always knew I didn't like them because like their manufacturedness. But when they flavor them, they like flavor them so terribly and inconsistently.
Right.
Not like the flavor itself is terrible. Sometimes that flavor powder is good. Sometimes that flavor powder
It's
is
top
bad.
ramen.
Right. But always
Chicken
it is inconsistently applied.
Right. They don't coat them well.
Well, and here's the thing. They could not get away with selling chili and lime Pringles because the flavor wouldn't be good enough. So they had to make it extra hot to give it a little marketing value.
And these are new, but not limited edition. Just so you know.
Right. Well,
Yeah, the other ones would say that.
And they're also like, normally the powder is kind of like a color, vaguely like what it's supposed to taste like. These extra hot ones are, I believe the official color name is artificial red.
Yeah, you know what? Though,
Like that
they
cayenne.
they look like the Flaming Hot Cheetos. It's the same concept.
Yeah, and those don't even look like food.
The picture on I love the Pringles art with the chili sliding down a ramp going through a ring of fire. But on the picture, the chip in the ring of fire is evenly coated, but the chips themselves are not.
Yeah, I'm sure that they can find one evenly coated. But just because of the fakeness of the color, these were like really bad and blatant in their uneven flavor.
I still like them.
That's fine.
Yeah, they
Enjoy
still
them.
Almost
You can
killed
have
me.
mine and Brian's.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to the much milder.
Yes, I like the
Loaded
loaded baked potato.
Did you taste bacon in it?
A little bit.
I barely tasted anything other than potato, which is fine. It just
You
didn't
know
taste
what, though?
loaded.
They tasted like tater skins.
Oh, maybe a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tasted like Pringles to me.
Really? Oh, I
No,
definitely thought they had a
Yeah, they're different than the base
Yeah.
Pringles.
I mean,
More of a potato
maybe
flavor.
I didn't. Maybe I only ate the side that hadn't been powdered.
yeah, this powder is not as obvious,
Or
but I did
maybe-
see it's uneven.
Maybe the previous ones killed your taste buds for a little bit. Now they've reached.
No, I had it later. Yeah, I don't know. Of them, this is the one I would eat the most of. But no, It left me longing for last week's exotic secretly chicken.
Oh,
Potato
no. The thing I like about this, on the artwork, there's just a little teeny tiny splash of sour cream, and that's what you get in the chip, too. I don't like the sour cream flavor that much. I like the amount of sour cream you got.
Yeah,
This
it looks
is
like
very
bacon, cheese, sour cream are in the picture.
Mhm.
And it's being shot out of a cannon, I think. That's that red thing. Loaded, okay.
But I did
Yeah.
really like these. I thought they tasted kind of like a bacon potato skin, but definitely more flavorful than regular Pringles.
Yeah, they're not just a straight Pringle.
Oh,
Oh?
I did not realize.
So you
that.
had some more. Did you just try another one? Did you still have the same opinion?
Yeah, it tasted like a Pringle.
He is not a Pringle connoisseur.
No, I mean,
I think I'm becoming one. I always liked Pringles, but I never did all this.
I respect you both, but I don't get the love of Pringles. I'm sorry.
The bacon flavor is faint compared to other bacon chips that we've had, but I can taste the bacon in there.
Now, Danny will call the next things we tried actual potato chips.
They are actual potato
We
chips.
had 3 new flavors of different ones. We had Herr's, and there are 2 flavors here based on seasonings from McCormick's.
Yeah,
There's
they partnered with McCormick's.
Montreal steak and smokehouse maple, and then we had a Ripple's barbecue pulled pork wrap potato chip.
Right, yeah, this is from their appetizers line.
Which one?
The pulled pork one.
Oh, okay.
They have their appetizer. We've had some of them before, like their bacon cheeseburger slider. They also have like a blooming onion. But this one we hadn't had yet, so we didn't do the whole line, just this one.
Yeah, so let's talk about that pulled pork first then. What I loved about this in the picture, it was just pulled pork in a wrap, no condiments.
Yeah. Technically.
No pickle or slaw for Brian.
It's soaked in barbecue sauce, which is technically.
So it tasted like barbecue pork.
It did.
It really did. I loved these a lot.
I was surprised how good these were.
And
they're nice, big, round chips with, like, ripples in them.
Right, unlike Pringles, which are manufactured who knows what half duck lips.
It's powdered potato formed, Danny. It's made out of potatoes.
It's the same
So,
concept.
you know what? It's funny is, I have a love-hate relationship with pulled pork.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. I feel like it's overdone, but that's mostly because food trucks are overdone. And every food truck uses pulled pork because you can just have
you can just heat it up
sitting all day.
I'm eating another one if you hear crunching.
But it's all about the sauce a lot of times. A really good pulled pork is about the pork, but most of the time when you see pulled pork, it becomes
it's
about
a marriage
the
of the two. It has to be a good sauce. It
So
has
if you
to
have
be
a
good
good roast pork that was nice and shredded and...
This is... And sometimes pulled pork is a little bit too saucy. This actually, I think, there was a little bit more sauce than pork, but it was a really good sweet barbecue sauce. You know, like it wasn't a hot barbecue. It was...
Yeah.
It was a very sweet barbecue sauce.
A little sweet, but I wouldn't say super sweet like a honey barbecue.
It was like a brown sugar base.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really good. I mean, maybe I'm on a sweet chip kick, too, after we had the honey butter chips and we just had some of the others. It was very sweet.
Yeah, I highly recommend Ripples. That's an old Dutch brand. It's like Ruffles, but it's a Ripple potato chip. Pulled pork. Go for it.
Yeah, I really like those.
You should be able to find them at most grocery stores.
You know what else? I find that, like, the Ripples appetizers line, that's the easiest to find meat chip in gas stations.
Okay.
Good road trip food.
If you're like, I want a basic cheeseburger chip, that's at least here in Minnesota, because their Old Dutch is kind of local, that's a common meat chip.
Well, maybe it's a good road trip food on, like Rocky road trip Oreos we had last week.
Right, when you're like, I'm on a road trip and I want a slider, but I don't have time for a slider. I only have time for a chip.
I want something salty and crunchy.
Then moving to the Herr's and McCormick chips, we have the Smokehouse Maple, which tasted a lot like the maple bacon chips that we've had from other companies.
Another sweet chip.
Yeah, and this was also good. I really enjoyed that combination of a sweet, bacony, chippy goodness.
I liked it, although I took a big handful of them, and like 4 or 5 chips in, I was like, okay, this is a lot.
Yeah, I actually have this seasoning, the McCormick seasoning, and I don't use it that often because it is a very potent flavor, and sometimes I like my pork more savory, but I liked the chip. I'm not saying I didn't like it. Tastes like the seasoning.
So, Danny, was it too sweet to have too many in your... or what was it?
It was actually like the smokehouse, not the sweet.
Oh, okay.
Not the maple. There was just something about it where I was like, this is good, but it was a lot of, maybe a little bit, I started getting hit with the artificial.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't want all my chips to have the smoky flavor, but I enjoy these for what they are.
So is this kind of like the dill ones if you were making your own chip mix? Which, we should see more of it. If you had like a party, that would be a good idea. Get like some to take like a big bowl and like take some barbecue chips and those smokehouse maple and mix them all together. I mean, it wouldn't be cruel, like when you mix the Skittles and the M&Ms.
I was gonna say, is this like chip roulette? Throw in some of the dill pickle chips and some
I just crush up Pringles and put them all together.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
grab a
we do know, right?
happens.
I still lament that Doritos Roulette is not easy to find in the U.S., but it is. Like, it only happens here occasionally, but they do that in Europe all the time.
Yeah,
Have you had Doritos Roulette?
Yeah, I think we've talked about them here too.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't need to play fast and loose with my taste buds like that.
Oh, see, I think that, because then you get some mixing. I would like to see Smokehouse Maple mixed in with some other chips.
No, the Montreal steak seasoning. What is Montreal steak? Educate me and maybe
It's a seasoning mixed with salt, pepper, paprika, stuff you put on steak before you cook it.
So a basic steak seasoning.
And I'm going to say it didn't taste much like the steak seasoning.
I didn't get a lot of flavor from this one either.
I mean, it says it's the seasoning and not a steak flavor, but even so, I use Montreal steak often, and it didn't taste like it.
Like it should be like a pepper and garlic. I got it, but not.
This was more like a salt and pepper chip to me, and not even much pepper.
It definitely wasn't a plain potato chip, but I didn't really get what I think they were going for.
I mean, it's a fine potato chip, but it doesn't...
Yeah. So Herr's right now has a hashtag going, My Herr's Story, where you tell stories about, like, Herr's in your life. I kind of want to tell a modified story.
Okay.
Yeah?
It's actually about the McCormick's Montreal Steak grill seasoning. So this goes back a lot of years now, like decades. But when I graduated college, I had this apartment with my buddy. And we were like the fourth generation of friends that had all been in the same apartment. So like one person would move out, someone else would move in, but we were wrapping it up. So because it had gone on for years without really turning over the lease, and there are people graduating, moving on, we had this immense collection of furniture and also an immense collection of spices in our spice cabinet. And since we were leaving and off to start our lives as professionals, we had to divvy all that up. So we did a draft of spices. Like if you think about like a sports draft, where we went through and lined up all of the spices. Because we're still like, we're going to start a professional.
So who got to go first?
I think we like rock, scissors, papered or did a coin toss for who went first. And there's a lot of strategy involved in it. Like, I thought he made a strategic mistake in taking the Italian seasoning, because, like, with an early pick, because you didn't need to do that, because if you took, if he took the Italian seasoning, he wouldn't grab the basil or the oregano, and I could grab those. And I didn't need to grab the oregano and basil, because the Italian seasoning is out there. But the mix that did go high in the draft, because it's harder to replicate, was the McCormick's Montreal steak seasoning, because we both really enjoyed that, and that was the one that was like the hardest to be like, as much as I do my own.
Did you realize that you all were becoming professionals and getting jobs and you could buy your own
seasoning? We had various levels of poor financial decisions that we knew.
All right.
We were, we knew that, at some point we would grow up and be able to. Spices are expensive.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah, spices can be really expensive, and you didn't want to spend your first paycheck restocking the spice cabinet. But we did love spices. So we had two drafts. We had like a furniture draft and a spice draft, and everything else was easy. Like the furniture, we just everyone went through. He and I went through with Post-its, putting Post-its on the stuff that we wanted. And if something one of us wanted, the other one didn't want, then that was easy. If something no one wanted, then it went to the trash or was donated. But then the things that we both wanted.
But you all wanted the spices.
Well, yeah, the spices was that was a draft. We totally. We should have had announcers to be in the first round with the first pick, Danny takes the enormous Costco garlic powder. It was stuff like that. It was good.
Well, Amy, you brought out some Montreal steak actual seasoning, and I took a whip of that, and it definitely.
The chip is lacking.
Yeah, it really is.
And you can see why it would be an early pick in a spice draft.
Yeah, if you like the garlic.
I also brought out the Smokehouse Maple just so you could see how it compared to that.
Yeah, which
it's pretty darn close.
They did their thing with that. So Herr's. Herr's has a good reputation with our podcast, at least with nailing flavor. Right. So this is
and I will say this: they're the most flavor. I appreciate Herr's in that they are always trying new flavors.
Yeah,
you don't see some of the other brands being nearly as aggressive and creative.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always hit, but they're putting it out there.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Well, shall we pause on the chips for a while?
Please.
And Brian, what have you found?
Yeah, well, I want to be a little educational here because I found an article from BuzzFeed that's 17 weird food facts that will make you question everything. So I thought,
Which one is it? Is it number 4? I won't believe. Tell me number 4. I'll never believe.
You won't, yeah.
Number 3 blew my mind. No, okay. So, and maybe, the two of you do a lot of cooking and such, so you maybe know some of these. But did you know, for example, that bananas are actually berries?
Well, I knew the banana plant is an herb, actually.
Yes, because botanically speaking, a fruit is considered a berry. It has to have 2 or more seeds on the inside and derived, this is the definition here, derived from one flower with only one ovary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is what that is.
A fruit is a ripened ovary.
Yes. So also with that, an eggplant is also considered a berry for that reason.
Yeah, I knew eggplants were.
Yeah. However, strawberries are not berries.
Nope.
Neither are raspberries because obviously their seeds are on the
outside.
All right. So this is not the trivia part of this next one.
Okay, and I also want to say that bananas have great appeal.
And banana spiders are huge, scary, and can kill you.
Okay. Don't eat those, though. You can probably guess what Sylvester Graham invented.
I know what he was trying to do, though.
Yes. So,
the graham cracker?
Yes.
Okay.
So he invented the graham cracker because...
he's not the telephone guy.
No, that's Alexander Graham Bell.
Okay.
This is Sylvester Graham made graham crackers because he wanted something to help him with those carnal desires.
When you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
So he onto a graham cracker?
Well,
No.
But to keep him from wanting to do that.
He thought that whole wheat would help you not have urges of that nature.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's a reason to not go gluten-free
and
alone.
The graham cracker actually changed in nature so they could market it and sell it, but it used to be a lot blander because his theory was that if you eat something that tastes good, that excites your senses, and that will excite other senses.
Yes, so
So graham crackers are a cold shower.
That's what he
the original
hoped.
ones were. These are much tastier now. And you want to know how I learned that?
How did you learn that?
From a podcast. That's
hey.
And that's the way I heard it by Mike Rowe, something like that.
Yeah. So
I thought you were gonna tell a story about if someone just kept giving you graham crackers.
No.
Listen, Amy, you're really nice. Have some graham crackers.
No.
All right, so we were just talking about Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Yes.
They were actually first, at least mentally created back in 1976 by a janitor who worked for Cheetos, Richard Montañez, who pitched his idea that became so successful that he became the CEO.
Nice.
Yeah, so good for him. So, yeah, a janitor had great ideas.
So,
worked his way
Brian,
up.
you have hopes with Dairy Queen or Little Debbie.
Hey,
you can pitch an idea and maybe you'll be CEO.
Hey, Dairy Queen, you can use that song I sang last week and pay me for it. That'd be fine. Make me the CEO. I'll do a good job.
Brian has lots of ideas for what goes with ice cream.
I'm sure he does.
Yes. Okay. This one really did shock me. It is number 5. It is number 5. So, in 2012, in the United States, there was a huge kale craze. People started getting on the kale bandwagon.
Yeah. Use it instead of bread.
Baked kale chips.
Yeah. So all over. So until that point, which restaurant chain do you think was the largest purchaser in the United States?
It's gonna be
kale.
It's gonna be a cheap chain that used it as a garnish. I'm gonna say
Big Boy.
What'd you say?
Big Boy.
Big Boy. Okay. All right. Sure.
I don't think that's national. That's like regional Michigan. I'm going to say...
There are Big Boys across the country.
Yeah. Fridays.
It is actually Pizza Hut.
Oh.
So Pizza Hut was the biggest purchaser of kale in the United States until 2012.
I went with Big Boy because of his garnish comment.
You were on the right track there because it was a garnish for their salad bars. Mm-hmm. So, I'm surprised. I mean, were people eating it for them to have to replenish? They couldn't just leave it sitting out there forever?
Well, eventually it rots.
Well, and you put the kale out and you put stuff on the leaf as a display rather than something for people to eat.
Or I think that maybe if you just had all of them bundled together, it just looks like greenery that the bowls are sitting in.
Yeah.
All right, here is number 6. In 1943, something was hurting the United States economy, so it was banned.
What year?
1943.
It was.
And they thought that, this is affecting the economy in a negative way.
I'm going to go back to an earlier one.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that economic growth is tied to population growth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say the graham cracker.
Good guess. Good guess. Amy, what do you think? If you had to take a wild guess.
I will say butter.
Well, you're on that bandwagon. It's actually sliced bread. Was banned. It had to be sold with wax paper. The cost of wax paper was rising too much. So, yeah, they had to put a ban so that, it would not harm the economy too much.
There you go.
All right. So I bet you both know this one. We'll see if any of our listeners do. Where do baby carrots come from? Are they their own variety?
It's just
Usually
regular
no.
carrots cut down and rounded.
Exactly.
Usually no. Yeah, like 90% of the time it's just a carrot.
It's basically just a carrot that's something they cut down to save the good part.
They cut it down, then they round the edges.
You used to be able to get, at least I think, because I remember real baby carrots, but they would be a lot more expensive, and so they don't do that.
Yeah, which makes you wonder why, right? It's like it's a lesser item, so why? Why cost more? Maybe
the money in a lot of this stuff is in the cut, right? Like the pickle industry, the money's in the cut, not in the product.
Right, and how long it takes to turn that soil over and everything.
No, I mean just like the profitability. If you look at how much it costs, how much money you can get for a jar of whole pickles versus the amount you can charge for sliced pickles, by cutting it and doing that processing, you can charge a lot more.
Yeah.
For that. That's why I say the money is in the cut.
Yeah.
So, like, carrots, just like selling a bunch of carrots, you can only get so much for it. But once
I suppose if you pull them from the ground and just put them on a shelf,
and do that.
Yeah, but still they also have cut carrots that are not labeled baby carrots.
Yeah.
And so...
And those are profitable too. But anytime...
But people love baby carrots.
Yeah.
And they're not baby carrots.
They sound healthier.
It's
like put them in a salad more.
Plus,
real baby carrots are sweeter.
Plus, people don't like babies, and so they want to kill them and eat them. Moving on.
Danny! Okay, next one. Okay, what common product, if you stored it properly, would outlive your children and your grandchildren without going bad?
Fruitcake.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no, I think that comes bad.
I saw these out in my office this week. Someone had put out Twinkies, and I almost looked at the date, and then I thought, why bother, and just ate it. And then I thought to myself, who likes Twinkies?
What?
I've had a stale Twinkie, just so you know.
Yeah, those will go bad if they're,
But I'm going to start with say butter.
This is that's a good, I think that would go,
Mm-hmm.
Eventually on its own. Honey will actually not go bad.
That,
if it is stored,
if
it's sealed in a dry place, it's going to just sit there for a long time and be just as good.
Yeah.
Except for the flies stuck to the top.
Well, you properly sealed. All right, the next one, I felt like this is common knowledge. I'll see if you know. Spam, the food.
Yeah.
What is that? What's that short for?
Spiced ham.
Yeah. Danny, did you know that?
Probably.
Yeah, spam. Spiced ham. They shorten it to spam. Appropriate. That means something junky in your email now. But yeah. Anyway.
I like spam.
Yeah.
Fry it up and put it in a sandwich.
Thank you, host.
Actually, you know what?
Dice it up, fry it up, put it in
when
eggs.
we were having grill days at my old job, one day we grilled some spam. Like if you like push all the liquid out of it and slice it just right and grill it, not terrible.
Yeah, cooked spam. People don't just eat it out of the can. You gotta.
Oh yeah. Oh, like who would eat it just out of the can?
Some people.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
And it doesn't have all the gel and gloop with it anymore.
Oh, okay. Let's move on. Have either of you ever seen a pineapple tree?
Yes.
It's not but they grow.
They actually don't grow in trees.
No,
it's just like a shrub.
They grow in bushes.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we because I can picture a pineapple tree as well. Right. But
I pictured the little shrub. It's not very tall. It's just a single pineapple.
Yep, they're little bushes. Is where they come from.
I was like, Why is Brian calling it a tree?
I was trying to trick you. All right, this one I actually knew as well. In the 14th century, the Aztecs used a certain food item as currency. Do either of you know?
Oh, I did learn this. What is that?
Cocoa.
Yep, cacao beans is what they would use because they were considered to be precious.
Bring me on your trivia team, people.
All right, I don't like this next one. So if you ever eat raw oysters, why would you? But they better still be alive when you eat them because if they aren't, they're covered in bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
So you're either eating a living oyster or you're eating something covered in bacteria. Yeah, that's a no-win situation.
I've eaten and enjoyed raw fish, sushi, sashimi, what have you. Raw bars, but not oysters. I just can't. I mean, I will try anything once, and I know. So just no. There's a reason they put hot sauce and lemon and everything on them because no. And if you love them, actually, I'm not going to judge you, even though that sounded very judgy. They're just not for me.
Yeah, not for me either. Now, you know how I feel about condiments.
Yeah.
Right.
But which condiment was at one point used as a medicine? Because it was thought to have a healing tonic.
Mustard?
No? Dan, what's your guess?
Vinegar? That's not
healing
condiment.
tonic. A condiment? It's not. I was going to go with mustard.
It's actually ketchup. Now, I don't think that was effective. But it was even sold in concentrate into pill form for a while. I don't have a year on that, but yeah. So if ketchup did help anything, I'm not getting healed because I'm avoiding condiments altogether.
Huh.
Okay, which country was Hawaiian pizza invented in?
Japan.
Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense because it's often Canadian bacon rather than
Yeah.
Right.
Which is funny, that ham and Canadian bacon are the same thing. So they just threw pineapple on there and called it.
But yeah.
Yeah, they're similar, but on pizza usually they're pretty similar. Because they threw pineapple, which you would associate with Hawaii. That's why they called it that. There is one of our ex-presidents of the United States is noted for having a very, very boozy eggnog recipe. Any guesses which president has just an eggnog recipe that's just filled with alcohol?
Roosevelt. One of them.
Yeah, which one do you think is a lush, Danny?
Nixon.
George Washington.
Huh?
Was the author of an eggnog recipe that had more booze than anything.
Well, that sounds good.
It could be.
With the George Washington Porter. It's one of the two porters I like.
All right. And this one, I know that you both will know this as well, but what's the difference between a green pepper, yellow pepper, and red bell pepper?
How long it's on the vine.
Exactly. Yeah. They're all the same thing. They're just in different stages of
development. And that's why the green peppers are cheaper, because they can harvest them and then get a fresh...
Faster.
They can have more bounty within the season.
Yeah. So... I'm not a pepper connoisseur either. Do they taste basically the same?
No. Red peppers are sweeter.
Okay, yep. That's kind of what I thought. I would have said yellow was the sweetest, but okay.
It goes from green to yellow to orange to red.
And the last one I know all too well. White chocolate is a lie, and there is no chocolate in it at all.
It's just made the same way, but without chocolate.
Oh, so mad at white chocolate. It's not chocolate. Quit calling it that.
What would you call it?
Some people call
it's
it
the
like
texture of
almond
chocolate.
bark.
Well, that's because it has almonds in it.
Yeah, that would.
You want to know how people describe almond bark?
Yeah.
Almonds in white chocolate.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you consider that to be a white lie?
Yes, I would. It's not appealing at all.
But that's a nice lead-in to our next topic.
Yes.
Candy bars.
So. Yeah, so I will soften towards white chocolate for a little bit on certain things when candy is involved.
Danny brought back some international candy bars, but
from Europe.
But types we've heard of for most of them. They're just different because they're from Europe.
These are like bizarro versions of candy bars that we are familiar with.
They had Bounty, Milky Way, Snickers, Twix, and Mars.
Now, Mars is no longer available in the U.S. for the most part.
For the most part. Ethel M, they say, has it.
they're making the original Mars recipe.
Right.
I don't know that they're Mars branding it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that.
We learned that Mars is such a complex history here in the United States. There have been various recipes that they have had with that, both in the United States and Europe.
And it's kind of like a family thing, because Dad invented the Milky Way, and then Son wanted to ride that success and make Mars. And like a lot of candies, Mars was different in the U.S. than the rest of the world.
Mars was nougat almonds covered in chocolate.
Which became the Snickers almond in the year 2000.
But that also has caramel added.
With caramel. But there were multiple versions of the Mars as well at different points in the United States.
Yeah.
So let's be clear, with this one here in Europe, that is like a Milky Way. Am I remembering that?
No, not quite.
Three Musketeer.
It doesn't have nuts in it, I don't think. It's like caramel and
nougat and caramel
and
coated in chocolate.
No nuts.
No nuts.
Yeah. No, neither Milky Way.
But Milky Way doesn't have caramel. It's just the fluff inside.
It's
not even
Three Musketeers.
The European Milky Way doesn't have the caramel inside. That's like a Three Musketeers.
Yeah, why don't they keep them the same? This is too hard. It's like time zones. Is it 8 o'clock? What?
Why is it that it's... And I think these are from Europe, and I bought them in the Caribbean, but they're also the same in Canada.
Okay, let's go for the easy ones.
Yeah.
Twix seemed like Twix. Twix was Twix.
Twix was the closest.
Twix tasted like Twix to
Snickers.
me. And Snickers was Snickers.
Oh, no.
Yeah?
Oh, no.
Is that why I saw you, working away with your camera?
Yeah. The Snickers did not have nearly as much nougat on the bottom.
Well, maybe not as much, yeah.
Because on the bottom, I will sometimes bite the bottom half off of the Snickers.
You monster!
Yes, and eat the top half separately with the caramel and the nuts and the chocolate.
What?
Yeah. I know. It's
not string cheese, Brian.
So sometimes I will eat it that way. So it's like you're getting two different kinds of candy bars.
I don't know. I don't eat a whole Snickers usually, so I don't know.
If there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's, there's no wrong way to eat a Snickers.
I'm not saying it's a wrong or right. It's just weird.
It's different. I'll give you that.
And different is Minnesota
for weird. Yeah.
And this is why you don't like frozen Snickers, because then you can't bite them in half.
He doesn't like frozen Snickers?
No. I've said that before. It does nothing. It makes it harder and it's more difficult.
Yeah, I'm not into frozen Snickers, but I'm the host, so whatever.
Yeah. It makes the caramel way too. Yeah. No. Why do I want to eat tough caramel?
Do you like frozen grapes?
Frozen grapes are wonderful.
I know. That's why I use them to see if there's any humanity in him. But he does like them, so we're okay.
Yeah, but there was less nougat in here, which wasn't in itself a bad thing, but it did make it.
But it's still very Snickers. Yeah. You wouldn't think it wasn't a Snickers.
Yeah, but I definitely noticed that there was not the same amount of nougat at the bottom.
And then there's the Milky Way. That's not quite the same as our Milky Way.
Right. That was nougat and chocolate. And I believe the American Milky Way has the caramel in it.
And I enjoyed this Milky Way. I ate the whole... I mean, these are snack sizes, folks. But I ate the whole thing. And I don't always eat the whole thing of everything, because we eat lots of stuff here.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 candy bars here that are half eaten.
Interestingly, Brian and I have 0 candy bars that are half eaten.
Yeah, they all went for some reason. Weird. Huh.
Did you try all of them, Ryan?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Me too. Yeah. And I found that they were a little bit bigger than the American sponge.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit.
They are.
Nice
the Twix was longer.
Especially the Twix. The Twix is a lot bigger.
Yeah, I approved.
No, the most... Well, I don't want to say the one that's different. Bounty is the different packaging, but this is a Mounds bar.
Yeah. I was going to say it's Mounds. And I like coconut, so I like it.
I love coconut.
Yeah, so it was very good. I feel like the coconut was softer than a Mounds.
I think there's just more coconut.
That could be too.
The coconut to chocolate ratio, I think, is
and
bigger.
Also, Mounds is dark chocolate.
Oh, there is that.
All right, that could be it too.
And this is milk chocolate, so Almond Joy is milk chocolate, but has an almond. And Mounds is dark chocolate. And interestingly enough, about the Almond Joy, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but on an Almond Joy, the almond is chocolate coated.
Oh, okay. I did not notice that.
Yes. So,
I don't have muffin.
Just from an assembly purpose, It's because they didn't want the almond touching the coconut and the moisture, softening the almond. But you can't assemble it that. You see, like for manufacturing purpose, if you take the almond, coat the almond in chocolate, set it on top of the coconut patty, and then coat that whole thing in chocolate.
Oh, sure, yeah, that would be more difficult.
So the Mars and the Milky Way were the most different. Snickers?
Yeah, Mars was way different from what I remember a Mars bar being in the United
Snickers,
States.
slightly different. Twix, not different at all. And Bounty, we are called Mounds, but it's still slightly
but with
different.
milk chocolate, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if you're ever in Europe and you see any of these candy bars, I mean, obviously give them a shot. You'll
I
like
really
them.
like the Milky Way. I can't get over that.
I like them all more. But I don't always like that. One, I'm fancy. Two, I guess I must hate America.
Well, and you know what? Something different, too. It's unique.
Well, and the chocolate is made with cane sugar usually versus corn syrup here in the U.S., so that does make a difference in how they taste. And we have one more thing we didn't mention at the beginning, but we're circling back.
Speaking of frozen snacks.
And things that are always better.
Frozen.
Well, just always better.
Well,
like the European chocolate's better than the
that's
American.
true, yeah.
Last week we mentioned, we talked about the Rocky Road Trip Oreos, and we thought, well, what if we froze them? So this week we did do that. We saved a few, and we froze them and tried them. And obviously Danny really liked them now.
Well,
it almost tasted like hot chocolate, but not hot.
Cold chocolate.
Well, I'm an advocate of the frozen Oreo. I go to the Emerald School of Oreos. Bam.
Fudgesicle. Anyway.
I didn't think anything was wrong with them to begin with.
No.
I wouldn't say it fixed it, but it made it different. It almost made it like a brownie effect.
Something's different that's better.
Well, it's thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's better. It's just different, and it's good.
I think it's better. It's another Oreo that is
It's
better.
a different experience, for sure.
It's good.
But it tastes like a different kind of dessert.
Do you have a preference of which one you like more? Do you like it raw or do you like it frozen?
Raw.
Huh.
I think I like it frozen better.
I definitely like it frozen.
And I liked it raw, too. I just think I like frozen a little bit better.
Yeah, I like frozen because, not all the Oreos that didn't always do anything. This one, it does do something to it. It makes it, it gives it more of an edge, more of a competition in there among Oreos.
Yeah, it definitely moves up the rankings.
Yeah, so if you bought some last week after listening, freeze some of them if you have them left, or if you didn't buy them, maybe give them a shot.
Or if you bought them and you're like, I can't eat all of these, put them in the freezer. Then you can. I mean, wait like a couple hours.
Yeah, I don't know, because it does make it harder again. So that it's more difficult to eat. So you're going to eat slower.
Just don't do it right after you have a root canal, and you'll be fine.
Oh.
Or if you do that after root canal, be careful. That's all. Anyway, enough about root canals. We had good chocolate here, so let's end on a high note.
Yes.
Yum.
Yes. Good stuff. So, as
thanks
always,
for listening.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media. Review us on iTunes.
And next week we'll talk about Vegas, assuming we're still alive.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.